Hello Simmers, welcome to my channel Simsational Builds. In case you don't know, my name is Deb and thanks for joining me today for part 2 of our roofing tutorial. This is a direct continuation of part 1 where we went over some basics, and today we're going to go over some more complex tips and tricks as well as how to do a mansard roof on this Victorian build coming up as well. So don't forget to check out part 1 if you haven't already. I'll put the link up the top and let's get right into it. If we start looking up more of the Victorian style builds, which I'll just bring up now, you can see here that the Victorian builds, or Victorian homes, have generally quite a bit more complex roofing styles. And one of the roofing styles that I want to talk about today, which is probably one of the more complicated ones again, is called a mansard roof. And mansard roofs are typical in more of like a Second Empire style, can be seen in Victorian ones as well, and that's when you have sort of a more vertical shaped roof here. It often has the little windows on the side of it as well, and you can see here in this picture that's brought up just on Google Images that you can have sort of straight, curved, concave, etc. So I'm going to teach you how to do this because it is a handy little tool to use when you are building these old homes, and it's not something that's immediately obvious. So to start off with, before I start working on this upper level here, I'm just going to do the lower roofing here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing that I've done for this section here. So I'm going to get my half-hipped roof, going down to the level, pulling it across where I need to go, and lowering the height as well. Again, the lower level doesn't need to match up perfectly. If anything, it might work a little bit better if it's a little bit lower. But that one there looks like it'll work. And using your half-gabled roof, I'll match that up in a moment. I can just do this here and get a second section to put at the front here. For ease and quickness of this video, I'm just going to pull this straight across. And you see that I haven't lined it up very nicely yet, just pulling that up, and there we go. So I'll just tidy this up a little bit for you. Sometimes, as you can see here, by pulling the arrow across, it doesn't line up correctly with this line that I want here. So what I'm going to do, instead of pulling the arrow, I'm actually going to pull the overhang across a little bit. And I'm just going to hold down my shift key to hold down just that side of the overhang. Now sometimes this requires a little bit of fiddling. As you can see, I've needed to pull it across a little bit more just to get that corner to match up with the corner of the house, and pulling this across as well, removing that overhang, and now we have it lining up correctly where we need it to. Again, pulling this across just for ease of the video right now, copying this section, and I'm going to do this all the way around. Copy, rotate this wall, this roof, sorry. Pull it across. Oops, this one isn't far enough. There we are. Now, as you can see here, I haven't actually done the back of this house because this is just for demonstration purposes. So I'm just going to copy this, go across here, and as you can see, once you've done it a couple of times and you know what you're doing here, it does make it quite straightforward. So here we have the bottom level all done, all sorted out there, and we have to work on the top. Now to create that mansard roof, which is very vertical, I've worked out a bit of a tip that, well, personally works out well for me. Now on a wall height, that is just the lowest wall height here, the short wall, we're going to create another room on the top level. Now this will be a functional room if you add stairs to it, so you can make it like an attic or something like that, but I'm going to go 2 tiles in from all sides, excluding these little cutouts here. So 2 tiles in, 2 tiles in, 2 tiles in, all sides, to create this other room here, again making sure this is the lowest level wall. So what I'm going to do here is very similar to what I did down here, but I'm going to do it all using these corner sections here. And it's the same basic principle, just with a couple of extra steps. So I'm going to still select the half-hipped roof here. That will end up being sort of our corners. Line it up to the wall, and I'm going to pull that across and there, and pull it up right up to the very top of that wall there. Now you can leave it straight and go all the way around. I personally quite like it with a little bit of curvature to it. I feel like it sort of blends in with the style a little bit more. And this is a good opportunity for me to also show you that when you've selected a roof, and press Shift and C at the same time, you'll find that more options for curvature actually appear. So this is it without Shift and C, only 2 of those little balls or circles. Once I press Shift and C, 4 of them actually have come up. And using these, you can now play with and alter that curvature however you like until you get essentially the right curve, what you feel suits. What you will find when after doing that a lot of the time is that the wall sort of cuts through a little bit. If I pull this up 1 level, this is now going to be too high and sticking up above the level of the roof line, which I don't want. So going back where it was before, to avoid that, if you press Alt at the same time as pulling the arrow, you will find that you now have the ability to do a really slow and smooth drag up of that arrow. So I'm just going to pull it just until that line disappears. So it is a little bit over the top, but not by as much as it was before. And now it gives me that nice clean look. So what I'll do now is actually copy and paste this all the way around, ignoring these sections for now, just to make that roof sort of complete. So again, flat side toward the wall. And here we have that. Now, this isn't lining up 100% perfectly, unfortunately. I don't know why. I might need to just fiddle with that. There we are. Just to get it to match up perfectly. Here we are. And there we have our beautiful mansard style roof. Here on these cutout or pop-out sections, pop-out windows, I'm going to put a little gabled roof. You can angle that, you can curve that a little bit if you wanted to. Copy and paste it on the other side. And there we go. Now to finish this off at the top, you will find again those mansard roofs have some roof detailing. Now if you go to your roof sculptures up here, and if you do happen to have this Strangerville pack, you will see that we've got these here. You can choose whatever color you want, and you can essentially tile them across the edges. It is quite time consuming. I believe here the Get Together one has another version as well. But what I prefer to do, which is much faster, is again go to your fences, and there's two different base game fences that work. This wrought iron fence here and this curved iron fence. I personally quite like this curved iron fence. I'm just going to select it in this like steel color, and I'm just going to go around the very edges of it. And as you can see, that automatically has just tidied it off really, really nicely and created that more Victorian style. What I would do on the surface here, you can put any sort of flooring, obviously. I don't mind this gravelled sort of look. I feel like it finishes it off nicely as well. And the actual roof patterns, again, making sure everything matches in the same style. These country carriage house roofs or the Happy Orns shingles, or even this one here, scalloped pine roof, tend to work the best with this style. So I'm just going to select the black one for now. And you will find when you've done so many different sections of roofing that this does take a little bit longer. Making sure you've got all of the roofs the same. And then do your edging or your roof trims. Again, you have to make sure you've gotten all of the different roofing sections here. And finishing off our roof on the side there. Now, same thing here. To really make this look right, again, chimneys and things like that work best. Again, this type of style of house will almost always have some sort of chimney, and they usually tend to be quite symmetrical as well. So what I'm going to do is put one on both sides. Any number of these would actually really work, especially if they are the older style chimney, but I think I'm going to use this one here, top it off in white. And don't be afraid to also press the 9 key to lift it and the 0 key to lower if it's not quite right. Just try and make sure that there's no, sort of that it blends in seamlessly with the roof and doesn't sort of stick out or anything like that. Just making sure I've got it on the same level, which I don't. There we go. So there we have our Victorian style. Now, please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if there's any other roofing tips that you need that I haven't covered. I will put a little hotkey list in the description here. So for just those little tricks that I mentioned about curving them and, you know, raising them up slowly rather than quickly, things like that. So please read the description if you can't remember anything here. And I'd love to hear from you. If you want me to cover anything else, even if it's not roofing related, I would love to know about it and I can do some more tutorials for you. So thanks everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day and happy simming. Bye.